So stay free, vote Republican. And one reason we do have great freedoms here in the state of Texas is because we have a state senator that has represented us in the manner that we want to be represented. I've known Senator Deuell for quite some time, and I'm proud to have him be my state senator, and I think you are too, and we're so thankful that he has come over. And when I asked him to come to this event, he's the first one who jumped up and said, "Boy, I'll come." He said, "What can I do?" I said, "Well, bring that band. We're going to have a Mardi Gras ball. Let's go." So he came, and we've had a lot of fun, and I want to introduce you to our senator, Senator Bob Deuell.
I usually speak after Ralph, so now I can steal some of his jokes, and he won't be able to tell them. Good to see you, Congressman. Commissioner Staples, I guess he said he had an early meeting. He serves you well. I sat next to then Senator Staples for 2 terms, and he carried the redistricting bill in '03 and carried the defense of marriage bill. Let me tell you, he got beat up for that, but we passed it, and you voted for it. Marriage is between a man and a woman, period. And I think he'll do okay against Kinky or Hanky. Lieutenant Governor's got a delicatessen guy named Mark Katz running against him, and that ought to be an interesting race too. But Todd's a good guy, and Congressman Hall, I don't have to say too much about him, but he's been a long-term friend and a mentor to me, and it's hard to follow him. Half of our districts overlap. I want to introduce my wife, Marilyn. We've been married 40 years. I know that's hard to believe looking at her. Matt Wolf, my regional director, who's over there, and I think they filmed me so they can play it in the office and make fun of me after each event. But Matt's been a long-time friend. He actually was a pharmacy tech. And as you know, I'm a family physician and worked in one of the pharmacies, so he's the only one of the, I hired him because he's one of the few people that can read my handwriting. So, but it's good to see all of you. Silver Springs is such a great place, and Hopkins County is such a great place, and the Stew Festival, of course, and now you had another bowl of good gumbo that was good. A lot of people, they want to ask why people, you know, Congressman Hall is a county judge and a state senator, and so he's a lawyer, and Senator Staples has a degree in agriculture, as a farmer, rancher. And why do we want to serve? And I think that's because, you know, you talk to us and other people that want to serve is that because we want to give back. We had opportunities, people helped us along the way. And I like to tell people, you know, I was raised by a single mom, and my brother and I, and our father deserted us when I was 3 years old, and she was a VA nurse, a lifelong Veterans Hospital nurse, and I volunteered at the VA, and actually in the 60s took care of veterans of the Spanish-American War. They were very old then, but a lot of World War I vets and the World War II vets were fairly young then. The Korean vets were even younger, but I saw the sacrifices that they made, and I remember the ball coaches that coached me, and the scout leaders, and the people at church, and there was always somebody, I guess then there just weren't too many kids that didn't have fathers. Now it's all too many. But that's what motivates me to serve, is that when I grew up, and I was the benefit of, I'm a product of Dallas schools. But I was able to work my way through college and had opportunities. And I want that for my kids and for my grandkids and these little kids here. I want them to have the same opportunities. That sounds a little corny. Perhaps, but it's absolutely true, because we're being threatened in many ways, and I think that's important. Ronald Reagan mentioned in the '64 Goldwater speech, he asked, will history look back and ask that why those who had the most to lose did the least? And I think that the more you have it, that you should be able to give your ability. So I was blessed to go to medical school and have that opportunity, served in the public health service, and then served on the school board, the MHMR board in Hunt County, saw people like Congressman Hall and other people serving, and I said, I want to make a difference. I want to use my expertise and give back. And my hat's off to to all of you who are here tonight that aren't elected, that are willing to put your name in there and do the miles and take sometimes the abuse and the criticism, but you're willing to be out there and say that I want to give back to it. And the obligation is not to win, because not everybody wins elections. The obligation is to be willing to serve. You do your best, and that's our system. And as Commissioner Staples said, whoever wins these primary races, we get behind them, because there's a lot at stake. There's a House of Representatives, the Texas House is 77 Republicans. Redistricting is coming up, and I can tell you for this area that's critical, because a lot of the battles we have are urban-rural, and you need someone like me and others that are going to represent the rural areas. But we have a budget to deal with. We're going to have a shortfall. In 2003, when Senator Staples sat next to me, we had a $10 billion deficit. Our choice was to raise taxes, increase spending, or to make painful cuts. We made those cuts. We spent less general revenue. We did that in the last session. The result of that is that we have $8 billion in the bank. We spent less general revenue. We did what Washington ought to do, and I'm very, very proud of that. It's going to be a long night, but we've done tort reform, we've protected the Second Amendment, we've protected the unborn and the elderly. That's part of the pro-life movement. And I passed a bill in the Senate in the last session, an end-of-life bill that didn't get through the House, but we'll keep working on that. I passed Jessica's law, and actually it was the one that wrote it, which gave a 25-year minimum sentence, no probation, no parole, no deferred adjudication. You rape a child 13 or under, and you go to jail for 25 years, period. The second offense was the death penalty, the option for the death penalty. The Supreme Court threw that out, but now it's life without parole. But we have a lot more to do with eminent domain and with water issues and education and transportation. And we don't always agree on those approaches because people have different ideas of how we should do that. But I promise you to study the issues, listen to you. I can list a long list of endorsements such as the NRA, the TSRA, and the pro-life groups, and the police, and the firefighters, the Farm Bureau, the Texas Association of Business. But the most important endorsement I get on March 2nd is your vote to say that you want me to serve another term. So I ask for your vote. I've worked as hard as I can, and I'll keep on working hard for you. Thank you, and God bless you.